Hello everybody, Save MGS here. Today I'm going to give you my fight prediction for UFC Fight Night 33 Hunt vs. Bigfoot. Now let's hope this Fight Night card doesn't turn out like UFC 33. And for the 4 people who get that reference, congratulations. I applaud you. Okay, first up on the main card we have Pat H.D. Berry vs. Sora Pereri. Pat Berry is 34 years old. He stands 5'11" tall. He weighs in at 240 pounds. And he has a record of 8 wins, 6 losses. He has 7 wins by knockout and 1 decision win. He's been knocked out 3 times and he's been submitted 3 times. And his opponent, Sora Pereri, he has a record of 19-3. He's 35 years old. He stands 6'4" tall, and he cuts down to light heavy. I mean, not light heavy, heavyweight. So he'll weigh in about 265 pounds. And when he gets in the cage, he'll be about 275 maybe. Okay, he has 19 wins, 3 losses, 15 wins coming by knockout, 4 wins by submission. He has 1 loss via knockout and 2 submission losses. You know what? I have to give this to... actually, no. This is pretty much a toss-up. We have 2 middle-of-the-road heavyweights. And, they're going to go out, throw haymakers. And, it's really who's going to connect fast who's going to win. I mean, that's how these two always fight. And you know what? I'm just going to give it to Pat Berry because I like Pat Berry. I mean, these guys have never been real top fighters. I mean, Berry lost to a very past his prime Crow Cop. And, Sora Pereri lost to friggin' Eddie Sanchez back in the day. So, yeah. That's what I gotta say about that. So I'm gonna pick Pat Berry by round 1 KO. Next up on the card, we have Ryan Darth Vader vs. Anthony Peresh. Darth is 30 years old. He stands 6'2" tall. He fights in the light heavyweight division. When he weighs in, when he steps into the cage, he should be about 220, 230 maybe. In my opinion, this guy should be fighting at heavyweight. I mean, he gets gassed at light heavyweight. Now, it's not like he's a small light heavyweight by any means. He's 6'2". He's pretty big for the division anyways. But yeah, we're not here to talk about that. Ryan Bader has 15 wins, 4 losses, 6 wins by KO, 4 submissions, and 5 decisions. He's been knocked out twice and submitted twice. And his opponent, Anthony Peresh. Well, Anthony Peresh, the sacrificial lamb from Mirko Crow Cop's UFC comeback fight. He's 41 years old. He stands 6'3" tall. He fights in the light heavyweight division as well. He has 5 wins by knockout, 9 submission wins, and he's been knocked out 5 times and decision twice. Ryan Bader should have no problem dispatching him, much like Crow Cop did in the distant year of, actually, no, that was only 2011? 10? It's 2011-10. Either way, this guy's just to make Ryan Bader's record look better. I mean, yes, he does have a win up of Vinny Magadesh. But, that was a free KO in 14 seconds. That can happen to anybody. If it happens to Bader, good job for, Anthony Peresh. You know what? If that happens, I'm just going to step into the middle of the kids and say, "Hey, people, I'm retiring. Good day. I got 2 good wins. Okay, peace out." Okay, next up on the card we have Mauricio Shogun Hira versus James Tuhune. I believe that's how you say it. Mauricio Shogun Mauricio Shogun Hira is 32 years old. He stands 6'1" tall. He fights in the light heavyweight division. When he gets into the cage, he should be about 215, 220. He has 21 wins, 8 losses, 18 wins by knockout, 1 submission wins, and 2 decisions. And that 1 submission win came from one of the nastiest heel hooks I've ever seen on Kevin Randleman. But that's neither here nor there. Every time I think of his known submission win, I just see Kevin Randleman's face like that. Oh, like contorted in pain and stuff. You know what? Back to what I was saying before. Shogun, I don't want to say he's past his prime. He just hasn't looked himself lately. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's just because fighters have surpassed him. But, that really isn't a fair statement, considering he was just choked out by Chael Sonnen. he was just utterly annihilated by Rashad Evans. I think that was more of a lucky win on Chael's part. But, you know, congratulations for Chael. He did what he needed to do. He got the job done. But at this point in that Shogun's career, I'd like him to see him move down to middleweight, maybe. Or maybe take some fun fights at heavyweight. Because he's a still at 205 pounds. I mean, he's not a total contender. It's not like he has a whole bunch of fun fights lined up for him like he could at heavyweight. I mean, could you imagine Pat Barry versus Shogun? I mean, Jesus, that would be fireworks. I mean, just put him against any mid-tier heavyweight. And if he wants to, make the title one, cut down to 85. Yeah, and see what you can do with that. But, yeah, that's not the topic of the conversation. This is him versus Dreams Tahuna. Tahuna is 32 years old. He stands 6'1" inches tall. He fights in the light heavyweight division. He's probably going to weigh 215 come fight night. He has 16 wins, 6 losses, 10 wins by KO, 3 submissions, and 3 decisions. He has been submitted 5 times, and he has 1 other on his record. Shogun can finish this fight. That's all I'm going to say. Depending on what Shogun shows up, if he's not injured and he's motivated, he should absolutely wreck James Tahuna, much like Glover Teixeira did. Or like Alexander Gustafsson did. And you know what? I think Shogun might fix his submission game here. I mean, Tahuna does not have the best submission defense. And, Shogun's no pushover when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the submission games in itself. Yes, he only has 1 submission wins, but he usually uses his submissions to get out of a situation. Like, he'll dive for a heel hook and people will immediately get off him. And, he can proceed to stand back up. Most people will not jump back into his guard after he tries to heel hook you. No. That's generally a bad idea. But, yeah. I think Shogun got this. I'm going to pick it by Shogun round 2 submission. And you know what? That's very unlikely, but I think he'll be able to pull off a nice submission on Tahuna. Now, in the main event of the evening, we have Antonio Bigfoot Silva. In K1 legend himself, the Super Samoan, and Nato, Mark friggin' Hunt. Okay, the main event is scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. Bigfoot is 34 years old. He stands 6 foot 4 inches tall. He's going to weigh in at 265 pounds. When he gets into the cage, he should be about, 275, 280 maybe. He has a record of 18 wins, 5 losses, 13 wins by knockout, 3 submission wins, and 2 decisions. He's been knocked out 4 times and decision once. And he's coming off a loss for the UFC Heavyweight Championship against Cain Velasquez. I mean, Antonio Bigfoot Silva has wins over frickin' Fedor, Alistair Overeem, Travis Brown, Andre Arlovsky. Hell, he has a win over Rico Rodriguez, if you want to go that far back. I mean, Antonio Bigfoot Silva is just below the elite of the elite heavyweights. I mean, yes, he beat Fedor, but that was a version of Fedor that clearly wasn't what he once was. And not to mention, Silva had about 90 pounds on him. But I digress. And his opponent, the legendary K1 legend himself, the Super Samoan, the comeback of the, honestly, I don't want to say the comeback of the decade or anything, but, he's made a hell of a comeback. Mark friggin' Hunt. Mark Hunt is 39 years old. He stands 5 foot 10 inches tall. He's going to weigh in at about 260. He has 9 wins, 8 losses, 6 wins by knockout, 3 decision wins. He's been knocked out twice and submitted 6 times. Do not let this man records fool you. If you do not take Mark Hunt with all the seriousness in the world, he will destroy you. This man went almost the 4-3 rounds against former UFC heavyweight champion Junior Dos Santos. I mean, goddammit, the man almost submitted Fedor in his friggin' prime, man. I mean, this is Mark Hunt, he's no jiu-jitsu expert, but he's the king of the friggin' crook. And not to mention, he's gone 4-2 in his UFC one, and 4 of those wins were, and those 4 wins were in, consecutive order. I mean, he has fought a who's who in MMA. He's fought Melvin Manhoff, he's fought Stephen Struve, Chicago, Ben Welfare, Josh Barnett, Alistair Overeem. Fedor Emelianenko, as I said. He's fought in Pro Cup. He's fought in UFC. He's fought in TK. I mean, hell, he even has a win against Vanderlei Silva. And you know what? I'm gonna go against the betting odds here. If Mark Hunt can keep Antonio Silva off him for any extended period of time, Antonio Silva has shown he does not have the best chin in the world. And Mark Hunt has shown he has he has some of the most, actually no, not some of the most hard-hitting hands in the heavyweight division today, or any time in the heavyweight division period. I mean, this guy probably hits harder than Tank Figueroa. If Mark Hunt keeps him off for any expanded amount of time, as I said before, Bigfoot's going to go down. What Bigfoot needs to do, he needs to get Mark Hunt down. He needs to grind him out. He needs to go for submissions. He has to keep Mark on his back. Now, I doubt we're going to see Antonio Silva pulling guard on Mark Hunt, trying to work for submissions off his back. So, yeah, Antonio needs to keep Mark Hunt on the ground. He cannot kickbox him. He cannot box him. Hell, I wouldn't even clinch with Mark Hunt for risk of being knocked out. Now, it's not like Antonio Silva's chin is made out of glass. It's not the best in the division. But Mark Hunt has brutal knockout power. I mean, he's like the George Foreman of MMA when it comes to knockout power. So, I'm going to pick Mark Hunt via, I'd like to say round 1 KO. I doubt we're going to need the 4 or 5 minute rounds. I think this is going to end in first. This is the most likely scenario for Mark to win. But throughout that 25-minute fight, Bigfoot better be damn scared of getting knocked out. I mean, he needs to keep Mark on the ground and grind him out, as I said before. So yeah, my official prediction before I start sounding big and more stupid is Mark Hunt via round 1 KO. So, yeah. Have a nice day, everybody. Those were my predictions for UFC Fight Night 33, Hunt vs. Bigfoot. And, you know, I hope to God this Fight Night does not look like UFC 33. I mean, we do not need to see that ever again. I paid for that shit, too. I'm sad. I blame you, Tito. Peace out.